Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This week we were all inspired by the incredible initiative of Captain Tom Moore. Tom, reaching his centenary, says, I have to do something for the NHS. And he committed to 100 laps of his backyard to raise money. Modest sum, just £1,000 for the NHS. To date, he has raised over £16 million. We're so inspired. Here's a man at 100 years old who's still able to do something so incredible. What can we do to make this world a better place, especially in the midst of the current crisis? In this week's parasha of Shemini, we have celebration and devastation. We have the celebration of the 8th day, the day of inauguration of the tabernacle. Everyone is so festive, excited, enthusiastic. And then the doors of the tabernacle open. In run Nadav and Abihu, two sons of Aaron. They offer a strange fire. God sends a fire down from heaven that consumes them, and they die. Imagine how their father Aaron feels. He's devastated. He is grief-stricken. He's in mourning. And Moshe, his brother, comes over to him and says, Aaron, I need you to pull yourself together. You are the Kohen Gadol. You're the high priest. People need your strength now. This is the celebration of the inauguration. Other people in any other situation would mourn and not partake of these sacrifices, but I need you to do it exactly as you would do it if you were in a state of celebration. Aaron pulls himself together. He says, yes, I will do it. And he offers all of the sacrifices, and he partakes of the sacrifices, and he has that brave face, and the people believe that he is in a mood of celebration. But Moshe senses that something is amiss. He comes over to Aaron and his sons, the two remaining sons, Elazar and Itamar, and he says, something's not right here. I told you to partake of all of the offerings, and I see that one of the offerings you completely burnt on the altar. What happened? Our sages offer 3 responses that Aaron gave to Moshe, and Moshe was satisfied with the response. Number 1 comes from the Gemara. Aaron says to Moshe, granted, all of the offerings that have to do with the inauguration, I did them as you said I should do them. I did them, I partook of them, I did it exactly the right way. Which sacrifice did I not partake of? It was the Rosh Chodesh, the first of the month sacrifice. Because I said to myself, today is the first of Nisan. It just happens to be the first of Nisan. That's why I'm making this offering. But really, for all future Rosh Chodesh, I will be making such an offering. And if I were in a state of mourning, then I wouldn't partake of it. So this sacrifice has nothing to do with the inauguration celebration. The reason that we're offering it is simply because it's Rosh Chodesh. And on a normal Rosh Chodesh, I wouldn't partake of it. And therefore, I did not partake of it. Moshe accepted that. Think about that answer for a moment. We're operating in the here and now in a time of absolute crisis, unprecedented catastrophe. And when we're operating in the here and now, we have to retain our resolve. We have to be strong. Amidst all of the devastation, we have to put on a brave face and show that we're able to move forward. We're not going to collapse under the pressure. But at the same time, we mourn. We mourn deep down for the future, for every future Rosh Chodesh, for every future moment of our lives and the lives of our children and generations to come, knowing that the devastation that has happened, that is happening right now, will have an impact forevermore. Those people that have lost loved ones, those people who are out of work, businesses that have failed, the economy that is holding on by a string, people who are in isolation and their mental health is fragile. all of these things, one thing after another, will have a future impact. And that's what Aaron says to Moshe. Moshe, yes, now we're able to pull ourselves, hold ourselves strong, but understand there will be an impact, and we need to acknowledge that there will be an impact in the future. The second answer is given by Rabbi Lord Sachs, who says that Aaron is saying to Moshe, yes, Moshe, you told me I have to be strong, and I was silent. I did what you asked me to do. But here's the thing. Had I simply ignored the situation, moved on, showed no sign of grief whatsoever, I would have looked like a heartless father. How would I have looked as a leader? I had to show with one sacrifice at least that something was amiss, that something wasn't quite right. That yes, I was in the midst of celebration, but it wasn't a perfect celebration. And that's what was represented by this one offering that I said had to be completely burnt on the altar for God. And I think about Rabbi Sachs' answer in terms of our current crisis. And I think about the response of Captain Tom Moore, who says to himself, you know what? I'm celebrating. I'm having my 100th birthday. How many people get to celebrate their 100th birthday? I could be in complete celebration, but if I did that, that would be heartless. That would be ignoring the plight, the anguish, the suffering of everyone else around me. I can't do that. I need something on my 100th birthday to mark the fact that I have a heart, that I'm feeling the pain, the anguish of all of those around, that I'm doing something, that it's not just going by with just a sign, a mark of celebration, because that's how I am able to feel and express myself. Third idea is brought by Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch, 19th century Frankfurt. Says Rav Hirsch, why did the Kohanim, the priests, offer the sacrifices? Because they are a holy part of our people. But Aaron says to Moshe, I can't maintain that facade that we are this perfect case of the Israelites. My sons just did a terrible sin. They made an offering of strange fire before God. We're imperfect. That's very clear. I need something now to show, to demonstrate that I recognize that we are not perfect, that something is not quite right even amongst the Kohanim. And that's why I said this one offering I can't partake of. I have to give it completely to God. We are not deserving of complete sacrifice partaking because we're not perfect either. And I think about the response of Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch, and I say, Captain Tom Moore says, who do I think I am? I might be in a state of perfection, reaching my centenary. I need to acknowledge that I'm lucky. I'm not deserving. I'm no holier than anyone else. God's blessed me. But unless I acknowledge that I also have imperfections, and I also recognize that there's pain and suffering out there, I'm part of it. I have to be part of it. I have to demonstrate that my life isn't perfect if everybody else is in a state of suffering. I don't deserve this any more than anybody else. I'm no better than anyone else. And so I stand shoulder to shoulder with those that are suffering by getting up and doing that walk with my walker. It's painful to me. It's painful to me. And I'm asking each and one of you, says Captain Tom Moore, to pull money out of your pocket and to give money to the NHS. I want it to hurt you a little as well. You might be having a life that's completely fine, unaffected. The quarantine might be lovely for you. There was a piece in one of the major newspapers yesterday where a journalist said, my life is lovely now. I get to sit in my backyard, still do my job from home. Lovely. Right? No, that means that you've missed something. Where's your perfection? Your perfection, your imperfection is the fact that you don't recognize that you're no more deserving than anyone else. If other people are suffering, that means that you too should be suffering. And what Captain Tom Moore did was to take that suffering and in just a mild way distribute it further amongst the people, himself go a little in terms of suffering, having to walk. And it was hard for him. He said he could only ever do 10 laps at a time. And now he said it's committed to 200 labs, 100 for the original commitment, and 100 to thank the people of this great country for all of their contributions. But that's what it's about, showing that, I might be okay, but if others are suffering, I too should feel, and I need to take upon myself some commitment that's going to make me uncomfortable as well. So I ask you, friends, what are we doing? What are each and every one of you doing to be able to find some discomfort? Maybe you are in a situation of pain and anguish, and my heart goes out to you, those who have lost loved ones, those who are suffering from coronavirus, those who are out of work, those whose businesses are failing. I give you strength and comfort and blessing. But those of you who are not really feeling the pinch, you have to ask yourself, how am I going to feel the pinch? How am I going to reach deep into my pocket, pull money out of my pocket to pay for pizzas and burgers for NHS staff and volunteers? How am I going to do something to make myself maybe a little uncomfortable spiritually during this time, to be able to help the spiritual climate and help God finally reveal his face to us? Maybe it means putting on tefillin each day that I haven't done until now. Maybe it means learning a chapter of Tanakh, of the Bible, each day, right? Most of us haven't made our way through the Bible. Our Christian friends have. We haven't even opened up the Bible. It's uncomfortable. We don't have the time. Now maybe we have the time. Take a little bit of discomfort to feel the pain and feel the pressure and feel the strain of what everybody's going through right now. Maybe it means going online and finding a business that is struggling, or an artist that is struggling, and promoting them. Right? They might not have someone to promote them on social media. You might know how to promote on social media. Speak them up. You like them, but how about you now share their page? Comment on. Let your friends know what a wonderful artist this is, what a wonderful business this is. These are things that it means getting out of our comfort zone to help somebody else, but so that we can distribute that pain just a little bit more. Friends, when we wake up each day, we have to ask ourselves, do I feel comfortable today? And if I do, what can I do to share a little of the pain that others out there are experiencing? That's what Captain Tom did. He didn't take away the pain, but he managed to distribute it just to drop more evenly amongst the people of Britain. Wish you Shabbat Shalom. On behalf of Rabbi Batya and myself, Rabbi and Rebbetzin Guten Tag, Chazan Avrami and Rachela, Chair Neil Levinson, the honorary officers, the council, and the entire Norrisley family, Shabbat Shalom. Stay healthy and safe.